To the March 5th, 2025 meeting of the Daytona Beach City Commission. We're delighted to have each of you with us. Madam Clerk, may we be favored with a roll call?
Commissioner May. Here. Commissioner Cantu. I'll come back.
Here.
Here, I got it. Commissioner Henry.
Here.
Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Commissioner Paris.
Here.
Commissioner Strickland.
Here.
Mayor Deric L. Henry.
Here.
Okay. Do we need to do another motion?
Yes.
Okay.
I move that Commissioner Commissioner Cantu can participate in the meeting virtually.
Second.
Yes, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. This motion carries 6-0.
Okay. We're going to move on to item number 4, which is approval of the minutes of the February 5th, 2025 City Commission meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. This time, we'll have our agenda approval. If there are any changes, our city manager will address them.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, we would like to add $500 to West Side Elementary from the Bike Week funds of Commissioner Henry. Also, $500 for MLK scholarships from the Bike Week funds from Commissioner Henry. $500 from the Bike Week funds to West Side Elementary from Mayor Henry. Also, we are removing the item 9A, the redevelopment and neighborhood services essential housing linkage fees, to a future meeting.
Well,
Okay, Commissioner Henry.
500 to West Side Elementary.
It's still a commission meeting. Don't y'all want to stay? Join us. We're going to make...
it is. I didn't want y'all to leave.
Stay, stay.
I told Jackie. He should have told y'all. Yeah, y'all knew that.
Wow. Okay, we're Lucretia's next time.
Stop. Stop. Be nice. Okay.
Cameraman gonna pack up too.
You want state championship? The first game. Oh, that's great. I just love it. That's great. Me too. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, that's great.
We don't have it. Okay.
They want to come and talk about me.
Mayor Deric, you disgust me. Disgusting. You're evil man. Fuck America, right?
Yeah, he's with me.
Y'all need to get a hold of him.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have a motion in a second?
This is to accept the agenda
To
with
accept the
changes.
agenda.
Yes, you have that.
We have that. Okay, do we have any questions or comments?
Oh, I mean, I don't have that. I need a motion in a second.
No, we did that.
Okay.
Yeah. Commissioner
I thought we did
Reed
that. Commissioner May, yeah.
and May.
I thought we did that.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, we have no presentations this evening, so we're going to move on to item number 7. This is citizen comments, and during this time, citizens have the opportunity to address the city commission on any item on the consent agenda, and I have no speakers, Mr. Mayor, for the consent agenda.
John,
I'm
John not
looking
here?
for John, too.
John, you sure? All right. He's out of town.
I'd like to pull an item from the consent agenda, Mayor.
Okay.
8G is in girl.
8G. Okay.
For discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll pull 8G. Anything else? All right, all those in favor? Wait, did I get a motion in a second? Okay. Commissioner Reed and I believe it was May. All right, all those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take 8G. It's the Redevelopment Neighborhood Services, authorizing the city manager to utilize housing and urban development and state housing initiative partnership grant funds in accordance with HUD and the state Florida SHIP guidelines for rehabilitation and construction of single home houses. This is a resolution authorizing the city manager to approve construction services contracts to repair and reconstruct single-family homes owned by low and moderate income households, subject to conditions, and providing an effective date.
So move. Second.
All right, we have, was it Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
And we'll go with Commissioner Reed. We have a motion and a second.
So currently, the city manager has the authority to approve projects like this for $125,000 or less. So these are great projects that come before us, and I feel that if we don't see it or hear it happen, they just get done without us even knowing about it. So this would be something that, since it's done as a resolution, we don't have to have like a first reading, second reading. So it's something that can come on the agenda pretty easily, because I know maybe sometimes with time constraints, but I mean, with big projects like this, I'm sure that they have a time frame of which they need to be done. So I'm just asking that we don't approve this, only for the reason that I would like nice projects like this to come out so the city and the residents could know what the money's going towards.
Why don't you just have a report where it's, even if it needs to be codified, or that he has to bring it and tell us after he's executed it, so it doesn't slow down the process. We don't need bureaucracy on this, in my opinion. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you just have to come and report it and tell us what it was, even if it's on this is part of your manager report.
Doesn't this come before us like it's before us tonight anyway?
Yeah, if I may, the purpose of this is to allow the manager to spend up to the HUD limits rather than the 125,000, which means the manager would be the purchasing authority that approves the competitive bids, which would save the city time and allow the housing to be delivered more quickly.
Would that be okay with you, Commissioner?
Well, like I said, I
she
think
don't
it's just
want that.
something nice, like for these two projects, we're doing a reconstruction. So even for the residents to know what is being done with the money, because I believe these two projects add up to $500,000 from the grants that we do receive. So, like I said, I know bureaucracy, but I think it's only like a week's time. It's not like something that we have to go towards many meetings to get it approved. So, I mean, because this is the first time that I've even seen anything like this in the 2 years that I've been on the commission. And like I said, I think it's a great project, so it's something nice that we could share with everyone so they know what's going on with the city and
What's your
where we're
last
spending
name?
these funds.
I
Ms.
think it-
Presley, you want
Yeah.
to come up and tell us what your sentiments are, why you think we need this, maybe? Yes, ma'am.
Commission, City Manager Yolanda Presley, I'm the Housing Administrator here at the city. One of the main things that's important is that when we get these projects and we're getting ready to move forward with them, we're under a very tight time constraint. And with SHIP, we have to submit annual reports. And if the money hasn't been spent by the time we need to submit the annual report, that delays us sending in the report. And then, like now, the reason why we're trying to get these two done is because the report is delayed at this point because the money need to be encumbered and then expended. So when we delay it, if we do it this way, we're able to get all of the projects, the money encumbered, everything in line to be sent to go out to bid, to do all of those things, and we can submit a report to make sure that everybody knows what projects are in place. With the limited amount of funds that we receive, it's not like we have, 6 and 7 projects going on at one time. Like now, the two that we have now, we haven't had a SHIP project moving forward in like the last 3 years because we've been encumbered with all of the other stuff from COVID to disaster relief and all of those things. So when that happens, it pushes us back on our schedule, and SHIP doesn't care. They want the money spent and they want it on the report. And if we can't submit that report, then that delays our funding coming forward for the next round.
So this annual report that you send out, it only goes out once a year though, correct?
Correct. It's the annual report that we submit to SHIP. It doesn't go out to.
Correct.
Correct.
So it's only done once a year?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a time frame of when the report needs to be submitted.
Yeah, we know when the report needs to be submitted. The problem is making sure that we have the activities and the project to meet the requirements that's required by SHIP. We have a certain percentage that we have to meet as far as extremely low, very low, and low. So that's another reason why a lot of times things get backed up, because if we don't have the clientele to meet the very low, low, and low, then we have to keep pulling off of our wait list until we can meet that. DPA is a big part of our program, but as you know, with the housing prices now, DPA is not allowing us to meet the very low and low because they can't afford to buy homes. So now we're pulling from the wait list, and as it relates to rehab, that's how we're able to meet our numbers.
Okay. And just for the residents out there, DPA is down payment assistance. So if you need it, we have it. Okay. Thank you, Yolanda.
You're welcome.
Okay. So are you understanding where I'm coming from? You okay with that? Or I'm not. I don't want to slow it down. I want them to be able to
I don't want to
move
slow
on.
it down either. And with the way they're taking funds back nowadays, I want to just push it on forward and get it to go through.
Yeah.
Okay. So just like I said, I thought it would be nice that
It is
it
nice.
comes before us so that we could share it with the residents, how we're using the funds positively. But okay.
I think the suggestion made by the mayor that a report is provided by the manager will share with the citizens and with us what we're doing.
So that way we know. All right. Now, do we need to add that to a ordinance or a resolution so that that's a part of the policy for this?
I mean, Mayor, you could add, I could add, if the commission wanted an item that the manager or, would provide quarterly, semi-annual reports, whatever would be.
No, I would want it each time that we did one of these projects that there would be a presentation on that. And I would want that in the, because I understand what she's saying. You're spending a lot of money. Residents should know it's an important part of what we do as a city. And so I agree with what you're saying, but I don't want to slow it down.
So what I'll do is I'll add as a condition of the resolution that after each project award, the manager will provide notice to the commission and be prepared to make a presentation to the commission.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That'll be section 2D of the resolution.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion and a second?
We did.
All right. All those, do we have any other questions or comments? All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those who are opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay. So our only public hearing item was removed this evening. So we're going to move on to item number 10, which is our introduction of
Keeps leaking.
ordinances.
Now what I'm gonna do?
Item 10A is the Growth Management Planning Department LPGA Golf Villas Small Scale Comprehensive Plan Amendment. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance adopting a small scale comprehensive plan amendment in accordance with section 163.3187 Florida statutes with regard to 36.5 plus or minus acres of property generally located southwest of the intersection of International Golf Drive and Champions Drive, amending the future land use map designation for this property from golf, office transition, and retail to level 1 residential L1R, amending the future land use element neighborhood T development policy to allow for limited residential development of the property, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item? Okay, the public hearing and final action is set for March 19th. Moving on to item 10B, it's the Growth Management Planning Department, LPGA Golf Villas Plan Development. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning map of the Land Development Code to rezone 36.5 plus or minus acres of property generally located southwest of the intersection of International Golf Drive and Champions Drive from Single Family Residential 5 to Plan Development General, approving the LPGA Golf Villas Plan District Agreement to allow for the development of 120 single-family detached dwelling units with associated infrastructure, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the agreement, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there questions or comments from the commission on this item? The public hearing and final action is set for March 19th. Moving on to item 10C, it's the Growth Management Planning Department Land Development Code Text Amendment. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending the Land Development Code, Articles 6 and 11, to correct, update, and modify standards to better manage development in the city, amending sections 6.2.c and 6.2.g to add provisions regarding required parking spaces for compact automobile, bicycle, and motorcycle spaces, as well as stacked parking for multifamily uses, amending section 6.10.e.1 to add provisions related to off-site signage, amending section 6.11.c.7 to correct neighborhood compatibility standards related to exterior lighting, amending section 6.15.a.9 to update in lieu fees for tree replacement or mitigation, amending section 11.4.b to remove waterfront properties from block face averages and add depth of lot, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And there are any questions or comments from the commission on this item? Okay, the public hearing and final action is set for March 19th. Okay, we're going to move on to item number 11, which is our administrative items. Item 11A is the City Manager's Office Affordable Housing Advisory Board appointments. A resolution appointing 10 members to the Affordable Housing Advisory Board for terms expiring February 17, 2027, and providing an effective date. We've had the terms of Juanita Collins, Lydia Gregg, Jeff Hurt, Kara Leonard, Michael McLean, Suzanne Odine, and Teresa McMillan Ward have expired, and all would like to be reappointed. In addition, we have 3 additional applications from Angela Esmada, Lucy Stewart Desmond, and Richard Williams. And if I could get a motion for...
So moved to
To-
reappoint the 7 members that want to be reappointed and the 3 additional members that have applied.
Thank you. And I have no speakers for this item, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, we're going to move on to item 11B. It's City Manager's Office Beachside Redevelopment appointments. This is a resolution appointing 2 members to the Beachside Redevelopment Board to serve 2-year staggered terms ending December 31st, 2026. So the term of Gary Libby has expired on December 31st, 2024, and we have 1 additional vacancy, and then I have 2 applicants, Thomas Coffrey and Jeffrey Honeycutt.
Do we have a motion to appoint? All right, we have a motion and a second to appoint Caffrey and Honeycutt.
And I do have one member of the public to speak, Mr. Mayor. It's Mr. William Biddorf.
Mr. Bidoff. Yes.
Well, today I didn't come up to complain. William Biddorf at 402 East International Speedway. What I came up to remind people is it's very important to show up to these meetings. Just like I was inspired to be part of the redevelopment board on Beachside. I understand it's not easy for y'all to make decisions, but I appreciate all of you because it's not, you make a lot of tough decisions up there. And some people might think you're bad people, but I know you're great people and good people. And I greatly appreciate, because as things are brought up in these meetings, you all take action. You proact, you don't react. On Grandview, South Grandview, all those parking problems have been getting fixed. Things have been getting cleaned up because of all of you, and I greatly appreciate all of you deeply. And thank you. And thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
And that was my only speaker for this item. Mr. Mayor?
All right, we have a motion. We also have a second. If there is no other comment, all those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay. We're going to move on to item 11C, which is the Public Works Amendment Number 2, Final Phase 1 GMP. This is a resolution approving Amendment Number 2 to Contract Number 2428 between the City and Barton Milo Builders LLC for design build services for Jackie Robinson Ballpark renovation project, approving guaranteed maximum price for construction segment Phase 1 services for the renovation project, and approving minor revisions to the contract needed in association with GMP approval, authorizing up to $22,284,087 to be expended for the construction segment of Phase 1 services and providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Reed and a second from Commissioner May.
And I have no speakers on this item, Mr. Mayor.
All right. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, that was our last agenda item for this evening.
All right, who do we start with tonight?
Commissioner May.
Okay, we'll start with Commissioner May for commission comments.
So as I go about the Bike Week festivities, I am truly amazed by the number of people who arrived early. It started this weekend. It's been really, really good for the city, and I hope that our first responders are doing well and staying safe and being taken care of. So have a good week, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, one final thing. There is one more game, this weekend. There's one more basketball game at Bethune-Cookman. It's the final one for the season at home. It starts at 5:30, and I believe it's free. So I suggest everybody come out and enjoy it. It's very exciting. They're getting ready to go to their championship, and it's pretty exciting stuff. So do come.
Commissioner
Cantu.
Cantu?
Good night, and I'll see you March 19th.
Yes, ma'am.
She sounds.
Commissioner Henry?
Feel better, Commissioner Cantu, and good night.
All right. Commissioner Reed?
Just wanting to keep the family of Richard Krapps in our prayers, our fireman who lost his life in a car accident. Want to thank staff for what they've done for Live Oak Park. I lived on Live Oak when I was a kid before my mother bought the house that I reside in now, and nothing had been done to that park. I've been home almost 30 years, and it's looking good. As a result of our fire station, it has a retention pond, but now it has a walking track and it has benches so that community can come and rest and walk and what have you. And then lastly, this Saturday at Mainland High School, the city along with Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated will be sponsoring a shred event. So if you've got some papers, some old papers and files that you want to get rid of, it's free. All we ask is that you would bring either a pack of t-shirts or a pack of socks, brand new, so that we can give those to the homeless. Okay? But shred. If you got papers, tell friends, just come between the hours of 9 and I believe it's 1. at Mainland High School, right there on the corner of Clyde Morrison International Speedway. Crown Truck will handle all of your properties. We're just going to greet you, take those socks and those t-shirts, and then Crown will take your papers and they will shred them in your face. So you don't have to worry about your property and your personal information being handled by someone else. So please, it's free for you all to come out and take advantage of this.
What times again?
From 9 a.m. until 1. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. When I was at Margaritaville, a young man asked me if we were doing that, and I didn't have the information, so now I can reach back out and tell him. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Paris?
So since we had our strategic plan meeting today, I was wondering if we could incorporate the city manager's annual review and the city attorney's annual review, just to keep us on track with doing it yearly. So it has been a year since we did the city managers, and Attorney Gross is up for one also. So I just want to know if everybody was okay with that.
Who did the last Cantu? Okay, Commissioner May, can you do the managers? And Commissioner Henry, can you do Commissioner? Did you do the last one? One of them? You did have a year recently, but I don't remember that. Commissioner Reed, can you do the
City
attorneys?
attorneys?
Thank
It
you.
would be my pleasure, Mr.
It's
Mayor.
just like the commissioner whose name is Henry to tell me no. Not unusual. Yes.
The other thing is for just an update on the environmental board, if we have one. No? We'll get one maybe for next meeting? Okay. Also, do we have an update on impact fees, where we're at with updated impact fees?
The staff has met, but the process is with the consultant, so we'll give an update from Natalia.
Okay. Then the last thing is, so if everyone could just get their board appointments to Letitia by the end of this month for our 150-year anniversary board, so that by the first week of April, she could have it on our agenda, so we could get started with that group. And I want to thank the Beachside Neighborhood Watch also for the barbecues and for providing for our police department, firefighters, everything. So thank you guys for that.
Thank you.
And I guess this isn't ask what everybody else thinks about this. So currently, I guess there's been things going on with representation for the First Step Shelter, like in the news. And I was just wondering what everyone felt about Attorney Gross, being the attorney, if it's something that we would like to pull him from. From the First Step Shelter, being their legal counsel.
Well, first of all, Ben represents us.
I represent First Step Shelter Board under a contract between the city and
Turn your mic on.
It's on.
I represent First Step Shelter under a contract between the city and First Step Shelter.
I've brought this up before a few meetings ago. I would really like to have our attorney back in First Step Shelter be represented in another manner. I've asked him questions since all this foolishness has been going on, and there's been times when it's conflict of interest and he can't answer. And he works for us. We pay him, and I know there's a little side contract with that, but I would really like to see him free and clear of that, because just my personal opinion that when these lawsuits start coming to court, we need our own guy. They need their own guy.
I guess that was the catalyst, because we have been named in a lawsuit. So I feel that he might be torn in two different areas, even though he says he's not. I don't want to speak for you, Ben, but for something like that, I think I would like our city attorney to be a city attorney for Daytona Beach. And I understand that the First Step Shelter needs legal representation also. But I would like our city attorney to remain the city attorney for Daytona. which he is, but
I'd like to
I
hear
was
from
just-
Ben.
Yeah, this came up recently, and there could come a point in time in the course of that lawsuit where I would have a conflict. I don't think there is a conflict at this point, but it concerns me that I've got several members, you know, who are the client organization concerned with an appearance of conflict. So that should be as of a concern to anyone in a legal position that, you know, as I'm concerned with that. So I don't have an actual conflict right now. I understand your concerns about the appearance of a conflict. The situation Commissioner Strickland was referring to was when that whistleblower complaint was initially a confidential complaint. I wasn't able to divulge those matters to Commissioner Strickland under the confidentiality rules that apply under the statute.
But if they had another attorney, they wouldn't be able to divulge it to him either.
That's right.
So it wasn't as though you really had a conflict. He wouldn't have known that information, wouldn't have been privy to it.
But the difference is that you seven need to have trust and confidence in me, and if I can't share that with you, and that creates a lack of confidence, and then that can affect the relationship and then affect my ability to effectively counsel you.
Well, with pending litigation, I think that rather than wait until a conflict arises and then you try to back out or remove yourself from that situation, I think we should go ahead and prepare for that. Inevitably, you're gonna find yourself in conflict with it if they continue with that case going forward, which I don't have any doubt in my mind that they're not going to. They have too many things in their favor right now. So, you know, I'd like to see you sit right there and not be representing the shelter.
Just something to think about. I mean, it doesn't have to be decided today, but just ponder on it and see what you think. And the last thing was, so a Senate Bill 1548 was filed, and this is that Senate bill from Senator Leak about using permits and licensing funds for storm water purposes. To my understanding, we need backup generators for our lift stations, which does not move stormwater, it moves sewer water. So I'm just trying to get some clarification because I did have some residents reach out to me and wanted to know if we have all that money, why aren't we using it for these backup generators? So I don't know if I could get some clarification from somebody on if this would be covered under this bill.
I can answer that.
Oh, okay.
And yes, it would be, but it has to pass first.
So even though it doesn't have to, I'm just trying to understand because from what I was told, these backup generators for the lift station does not move stormwater.
Andy, but
It moves sewer, and I had a conversation with Senator Leak, and the way he changed it, it would be allowed.
So it would be for infrastructure.
Excuse me?
So it would be classified under infrastructure?
Yes, it would be classified for storm because of a hurricane. We need backup generators. And that's why it was worded that way. And it would be covered for all 87, I believe it's 87 generators.
Okay.
But the bill has to go through first. And I do know there was another House member that just signed on.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? There was
Just
another.
signed on the bill as well. So now we have a Senate and 2 House members. So I believe the bill will go through.
so whether it goes through, which we hope, I guess, could you tell us that that's not the way the bill seemed to read? So how are we to be certain of that? Now, Andy, you want to come up, please? Can you please tell us how you read the bill?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. I read the bill, and the bill in the language that I read, which may be an early draft of the bill, I'm not sure, did say that it should be used for stormwater systems. And the sewer lift stations are part of our sanitary sewer system and not our stormwater system. And so I'm hopeful that there would be some clarifying language added at some point if in fact they're going to allow us to use it on our sanitary system.
Okay.
So how do we proceed with something like this? Does Commissioner Cantu relay this to Senator Leak, or does our office? I just want to make sure.
I will relay it to them.
Okay. Thank you very much, Commissioner Cantu. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Strickland?
A lot of noise in town. I'm going to go out there and get in it. So y'all have a great time. Watch for me. Don't run over me. And we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
All right. Thank you. Thank you kindly, sir. We are approaching the conclusion of the Mayor's Fitness Challenge. And while I have not been able to participate in as many events as I would like, I am doing pretty good. I noticed that when we were having our meal, Commissioner Reed passed up on the bread for her sandwich, and that was exactly my plan. And I was pleased to see that, and she's been a faithful participant. I have failed a little bit because I attended the previous city manager, Mr. Chisholm's 80th birthday party. And he had a beautiful cake. And I walked by it several times. After the third time of walking by, I decided I would have a slice. But what amazed me was I did not crave the sugar, and so I didn't even eat the entire piece of cake. And I don't remember when I've had a piece of cake that didn't have enough sugar that I didn't devour it. So I can sense the change in my body metabolism and the way that I'm processing sugar. In addition, I would like to announce that we had an excellent conclusion to the basketball season for our youth. Saturday was a great championship day. My team ended up having to play on Monday because our opposing team could not play on Saturday. And we're proud to announce that for the third time in 4 years, Mr. Manager's happy because he broke my streak. But and then he retired. But at any rate, we were able to bring home the championship and had a great season. Some wonderful young men and young ladies participated. This was a great year, and the staff did an amazing job. If you had been there on Saturday, you would have seen the kids were interviewed. The game was live streamed. You had music, you had entertainment. Those kids felt like they were, in a college atmosphere. So it was a great experience for them and a professional job done by our staff. So thanks and kudos to all. That concludes my remarks. Mr. Manager, do you have any concluding remarks?
As Commissioner Strickland said, there's a lot of noise out there. I'll be part of it also this weekend.
All right. You gentlemen be safe and have a good time. Mr. Gross?
Good night.
Okay. All right. At this time, we will begin to hear from the greatest residents in all of America, the residents of Daytona Beach.
Okay. Our first speaker is Patrina Owen Manali. Please say it. I'm so sorry.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Patrina Anwumeli, and I'm a proud member of Majesty 565. We are part of the International Free and Accepted Modern Masons. I'm not going to keep you all very long. I'm coming to ask for your support. We're coming up on our 15th annual Treva Nesbitt Easter egg hunt. We usually host it at the Derbyshire Park. We serve lunch, prizes, we have a DJ, bounce house. So I'm asking for your support. Each one of you have this beautiful packet. And if you could support us again, we'd love to have you.
You have my support.
Thank you. And Mayor Henry was my former history teacher. And I'm a I teach history too. I teach
That's right.
Thank
Rock star teacher, rock star student. I would like to make a donation from Bike Week funds of $500 to support this event. Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
I always just pay for the park. Is that what you still want me to do? Yes. And please make sure it gets paid in a timely manner. Thank you.
I'd like to match the mayor's 500. That was Commissioner Reed.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. Our next speaker is Karen Delis, and on deck is Patty Santopadre. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Karen Delisle. I live in Ormond Beach, actually. I am representing the Faith organization. Faith stands for Fighting Against Injustice Toward Harmony. And I'm also a member of Our Lady of Lourdes Church. I am very disappointed that the birthplace of speed is putting the brakes on addressing the lack of affordable housing for seniors and for children in our community. Are you aware that more than 2,000 Volusia County school children are homeless? They are couch surfing, they are living in cars, they are living in the woods, in motels, and often they have to move several times a night per direction of law enforcement officers. Per the liaison of homeless students for Volusia County, Jennifer Watley, the need is acute. Children cannot succeed in school when facing insecurity in nutrition and basic safety. The proposal for funding affordable housing is for commercial development. Think of the funding we could have received if we enacted this before the Amazon warehouse came to town. We have major redevelopment coming to downtown Daytona Beach. There's talk of an airport facility coming in to town to assist our airport and also Embry-Riddle. Should they not also assist in remedying the impact of their presence in our community? How many more local residents will be forced out of affordable housing due to a limited supply? This is an acute problem and it's not going away. It's only going to get worse. We need remedies. An incoming commercial sector of our community should not displace more children, more seniors, more people who are coming out of First Step Shelter, more people who are trying to combat their habits of drug or alcohol abuse. I have a poem that was submitted to me tonight. It's from the Raging Grannies. I have no idea who they are, but God bless them. 2,000 children are homeless tonight. Volusia children are shivering with fright. Wake up and shake up and make it right. Open our hearts to their innocent plight. You made a trust fund to deal with their rent, but it needs money to help make a dent. Developers could put in a certain percent. Let's get those children more than a tent. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, our next speaker is Patty Santopadre, and on deck is Jennifer Grimm.
Hello, I'm Patty Santopadre. I'm a member of Our Lady of Lourdes and part of Faith Affordable Housing Committee. At your last meeting, I heard Commissioner Cantu bring up the current Schimberg study and say that Volusia County has a surplus of affordable housing units. There is a surplus in workforce housing units for families of 4 who make $99,360 a year, but that is not who your Affordable Housing Trust Fund will be serving. So yes, for families with $100,000 income a year, there is a surplus in Volusia County of 1,900 units. However, for people like my daughter, Lauren, who works more than 40 hours a week and makes $30,000 a year with a family of 3 in her income category. There is a deficit of 8,500 affordable housing units. We have emailed each of you the memo that Commissioner Cantu referred to, and it shows in total, Volusia County has a deficit of more than 54,000 affordable housing units. Your Affordable Housing Trust Fund addresses those families in our community under 80% AMI, or less than 70% a year. The families where there is a deficit of 54,000 affordable housing units. I wanted to give you an update on my daughter and her 3 boys who were in a flooding. She is the preschool teacher that I have spoken to you guys about. As her income is $30,000 after taxes, she was unable to secure another apartment here in Daytona. Due to the rent increase, she had until February 28th or her lease was up. She works here as a preschool teacher and her children attend school here. Her middle child is autistic and he attends a local school here in Daytona for special needs children. She had to make the decision to move to DeLand on March 1st, where rent is cheaper, but she and the 3 boys drive back and forth every day to school and work. So I'm asking you to please pass the linkage fee so my daughter and her grandchildren and my grandchildren can move back to their community where they have lived all their lives, and this is their only support system. I am, and her sister and her brother are her only support system, especially with an autistic child. We need to help them get back here, so please. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Jennifer Grimm, and on deck is Kathy Solt.
I'm here today about Clyde Morris Senior Living. There are a lot of issues that are not being addressed. There's 2 other residents with us today, and there's more that would be willing to fill out and address to have their concerns addressed. The security gates have been broken since before November. Looks like nobody's even going to even bother to fix them. We're rented a secured building. Let's see, there was a high pitch alarm that they just left on over the weekend. They didn't care, just left it. Nobody came to fix it. I called several times. They'll mark the work orders complete. They're not completed. We have to keep on submitting them. We had an issue with one of the other tenants who was mentally ill, and she was vomiting and putting feces and blocking the pathway, so we couldn't get down the elevators, down the stairs. Police officer came. She had scratched my car. Police officer came. 12 cars in a row. 7 out of the cars were scratched. One of them that wasn't scratched was hers, of course. There was nothing that we could have done because the property wouldn't turn over security footage to the police, so they couldn't address it. It was constantly, you go find, now this is a person that's mentally ill. We have to go videotape her and give it to the police. Finally, me and a neighbor did that, and she was evicted, but it was put on us. The cleaning was put on us. I'm not a hazmat person. I don't want to pick up somebody's feces and somebody's vomit. But I have to be able to get down the elevator. Let's see. They didn't help us with the gouging of the car hoods. Let's see. Oh, and she was stalking us too. But she took the next door neighbor's keys, wouldn't give them back. Called the police, said he was crazy. He's a vet. She had to pay for all new keys for his apartment and for his car. I was going away. My son was proposing to his girlfriend, and I asked them in advance, can I please have my lease so I can read it? And they waited till last minute, was like 5 days before I was leaving, to send me the lease, and it was incorrect. And then there was the weekend. So they gave me last second to review the lease, 76 pages, and it kept on scrolling and scrolling so you couldn't read it. I had to snapshot each page to make sure there wasn't another error because they put a $40 error to begin with. You can't read it. It just keeps on scrolling, scrolling. If you go to the next page and you try to zoom in, scroll. Then I went to sign it.
I'm sorry, ma'am, your time has expired.
Shucks.
But
A lot more.
okay.
Stand right there. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You were not here 2 weeks ago when I brought up this complex. This is the complex that I brought up 2 weeks ago, Clyde Morris Landing. So I'm glad you're here because
Miss Henry.
yes. So so I brought this up to the commission 2 weeks ago because you're not the only concern in Clyde Morris. I've got numerous calls about Clyde Morris Landing. So we're on top of it. I think, is the police chief here? So the chief and myself and I think the captain, we are meeting with Clyde Morris Landing next Wednesday. We have a meeting set with them because we're going to work hard to try and address these issues. We've got code enforcement ready to start addressing these issues, and I'm just thankful that you're here because when I was telling the story, I didn't want it to just come from a one-sided perspective of these are some of the things that calls that I'm getting. You actually came and you told your story and you told exactly what was going on, which is a lot of the same things that I told 2 weeks ago, which was from different residents. They weren't from you. So if those residents are experiencing them and you're experiencing them, there's a real issue, and we're really going to work on getting to the bottom of some of these issues because people shouldn't have to live like that. You shouldn't live that way. And we gave TIF dollars to Clyde Morris Landing. So we invested in that property because we thought that that property was going to be a good property for the community with affordable housing, and they're falling short. And I plan to hold their feet to the fire, and I plan to make sure that anything we can possibly do to come down on them, we're going to come down on them, including talking to people going back to the very beginning, lawyers, developers, anybody, and letting them know if this is the kind of position you're going to put our residents in, we don't want you and we don't want your business here. So I don't know. Is the chief here? Okay, chief is here. Chief, can you come up because we just finished talking about this, me and chief, about an hour ago. So
Can you indulge me for just 1 minute more? Because I didn't know I had a timer. It's real important, or no?
Go ahead.
And the latest thing was I dropped my key and the manager handed it to another tenant thinking it was hers and didn't ask her. And she said, oh, it's, no, she did ask her. She said, did you drop the key? And she said, no, it's Jennifer's. This woman I hardly even know. She had given her the key. I don't have a key to my car. I had, the replacement is $2,800 to get my car rekeyed. My medicine that was in a cooler is still in the trunk. I can't use my medicine. I have an autoimmune disorder. Can't get to my medicine, and they won't do anything about it. And its management gave another tenant my key.
Okay. Jeez.
So in response to the resident that just came up, like we spoke earlier, there is going to be a meeting next week, and I'll make sure that you are available. So it'll be later in the afternoon once you get done with school, so that we can get resolution, or at least attempt to try to get resolution in reference to all the issues that are occurring out there on that property. So.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And Chief, before you go, I'd make sure to provide you with the attorney that worked on this project who made contact with us to make sure that he's aware of your meeting with Commissioner Henry because she had concerns with that law firm.
Okay.
Ms. Jennifer, can you make sure I get your number and stuff before you go? Thank you. All right.
Our next speaker is Kathy Solt, and on deck is Cheryl Martin. Or Cheryl Martin, I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kathy Solt, and I've lived in Daytona Beach area for 38 years now. I moved to Clyde Morris Senior Living, which was supposed to be a gated community. The gates are constantly broken, which are not like a gated community. It's just the building itself has secured doors, supposedly secured doors, but they're always broken. Kids are putting stuff in the locks and just breaking them. They go into our gazebo. We have a gazebo for the elderly people. Unfortunately, I'm an elderly person. And they go in there. They've been caught having sex in there. They're smoking pot in there. They're just raising havoc in there, and it just makes me nervous. I was accosted by 3 teenagers. I had gotten out of my car after work, and I was walking to the gate to go in, and they wouldn't let me pass. And this is the type of people we are living with. And I don't know why. I mean, I was a very strict parent. I have 6 children. I was a very strict parent. My children would never have done that, or I would have beat their butt. And I can tell you, my children, I could have taken all 6 of them everywhere and anywhere with me, and they were very well behaved. But this is just, there's dog poop in the halls. Why? I mean, I have a service dog. I truly do have a true service dog, because I know so many people have illegitimate service dogs. But mine is a true service dog, and he would never. I mean, if he did, I would clean it up at least. You know what I mean? But this is just a horrible, horrible things rolling down from the ceiling. I don't know what the heck it is. When you walk in there, it's just disgusting. The dirt and filth that we have to live with. And we were told that we have to clean the elevators ourselves. Didn't know I was getting paid there. But I pay $100. They told me my new rent is going to be $14.66, and I'm going to tell you I make $19,000 a year. So I don't know how that equals to that, but that's it. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know how I feel about living there. It's not a very comfortable place to live, and I do not feel safe. Thank you.
My next speaker is Cheryl Martin, and on deck is Stephanie Jones. And I'm sorry, I had an aunt who spelled her name the same way, and she spoke it Cheryl, so that's why I said that at first. Sorry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cheryl Martin, and I reside at Clyde Morris Senior Living. I've been living there for 2 years this month. And the apartment is wonderful. However, the staff sucks. Since I've been living there, my water has been being gouged. Every month, my rent started out being $1,100. I've never paid $1,100. Every month, it's a different price. They charge me $60 to $70 in water. I'm the only one that lives in the building. I don't use that much water. I have complained. I have called. I have done about everything that I could to rectify this situation. I called the city of Daytona in the beginning. I was told that they were not affiliated with Clyde Landings. So I called another water company to find out that they are in cahoots with the water company. The person that I spoke to was a supervisor or a manager. She informed me that the water meter was not working. So therefore, we're being charged water that we're not using. And this is a constant. Every month, I can't even tell you what my direct rent is, because it keeps adding on. I'm supposed to pay one set price in every month. Now this month, I just got a letter the other day stating that my rent is going to be $1,300. And this has been just a constant over and over. I'm on a fixed income, and I am a senior too. I'm just not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for every senior that lives in that building. A lot of them may not have been able to come. I went yesterday and I knocked on everyone's door that I could to get them here today. So that is my complaint, and it is just a constant. And it should not, we should not be treated the way we are being treated. And even if we go to the office to try to address some of these situations, they won't talk to us. They tell us to call corporate or call whoever. They're rude, disrespectful, and we pay to live there. They don't pay us, we pay them. And I think it's about time for something to be done about this situation.
Thank you very
And I
kindly.
appreciate
Your
it.
time is up. Thank you.
Okay, I'm being told that Stephanie Jones has left, so our next speaker is Turner Himes. And on deck is Alex, is it Villan? Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Mayor Henry, City Manager, and the Commissioners. I'm here tonight to just ask and make a comment. I was like blindsided. I didn't know what was going on, but Friday, that when we started the event, we had no music, nothing. I want to tell you that the two assets that Black Bike Week have, it's music and good food. I myself, for its music, I like country. It took me 3 years to understand that they don't like country. It's blues and rhythm and blues that they like. So when we realized that the stage was not going up until that Friday, and I asked the young man, I said, well, will you be able to start the music at 12? He said, no, not today. And it was in an arrogant way, so I let it go. Later on, the vendors started complaining. Please, commissioners, let's get rid of this myth that on that side, the event don't start until the next week. It starts the day of. People are there, vendors are there. People come from our surrounding counties. That is how they make their money. I did something tonight. I saw on the agenda that something was going to be pretty long, but it was moved. So I told 4 of the vendors to be here about 7:35 or 15 till 8. So that's my fault. But I see Mr. McNorden is there. Commissioners, I'm asking you, please, when something come up, can you please, if you can't come to us, just call. We'll see, can we come to you about changes? Please ask us what we're doing or what's to be out there. Because today I sent a young man over to ask him to please play something other than what he was saying. He said the city told him to play an array of music. They don't want to hear reggae. They want something that they can move to, that they can get in the spirit when they're sitting on their bikes. They can't do it like that. Today also, the vendor went and got his own stuff because they was playing Rhinestone Cowboy. So that's not for out there. So I'm asking, and city manager, I owe you a little apology because I was wondering where it was a step to get rid of the Black Bike Week. But thanks to the commissioners who calmed me down and also told me that it wasn't true. And I received that. I'm thankful for you. But please, can we please be involved when you make? Just let us know. If you can't come, we'll come to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruby. You've been over.
Okay, Mr. Alex is up next, and on deck is William Biddorf.
Good evening. My name is Alex Villamil, 845 East Rosewood Lane.
845
East Rosewood Lane.
What city is
It's
it?
Tavares, Florida, but I
okay.
run business out here. Honorable Mayor, Commissioner, and council members, I'm here for a proposal for hybrid pedicab ordinance and enhanced regulation for the city of Daytona Beach. Excuse me. I appreciate the opportunity to stand here before you today as the owner of Pedicabs Express and Company, committed to providing safe, reliable, and professionally managed pedicab services in Daytona Beach. As our city evolves and events like Daytona 500, Bike Week, Spring Break continues to attract massive crowds, it's crucial that we modernize our pedicab ordinance to both accommodate industry advancements and maintain strict safety and operational standards. The need for a hybrid pedicab ordinance. Pedicabs have traditionally been defined as human-powered vehicles, but with introduction of electric pedal assist technology, we now face a legal reclassification of low-speed vehicles. Despite still operating at comparable speeds and the same manner as traditional pedicabs, the shift presents unnecessary regulatory hurdles, potentially limiting the availability of safety professional pedicab services while allowing unregulated and uninsured operators to take advantage of legal gray areas. So I'd like to propose a hybrid ordinance officially to recognize electric assisted pedicabs as a category of pedicabs, ensuring that they are not classified as LSVs, which imposes regulations that do not align with their actual use and function. Also, a cap on adjustments. The cap total of permits for pedicabs to 12 to 15 during major events, except for Daytona 500, where I propose to increase to 30 pedicabs for my company, ensuring enough safe and professional transportation options for attendees. Also addressing the safety and compliance concerns. One of the most pressing concerns during the major events, particularly Daytona 500, is the influx of unregistered, uninsured, and unsafe pedicabs from across the state. These operators pose a significant liability risk to the city, event organizers, and the public if an accident occurs involving uninsured pedicabs. And the consequences could be devastating. Just like to mitigate the risks, so I urge the city to implement strict enforcement on during major events, maybe designated pickup and drop-off zones, and stronger penalties for unregistered operators, such as fines, impounded pedicabs, etc. We're committed to safety and professionalism. Here at Pedicabs Express, safety is our top priority. Implementing these hybrid ordinance refines the operational caps and enforcing stricter regulations. We can preserve the integrity of Daytona Beach pedicab program, ensure public safety, protect the city from liability. And I hope that we can, I ask for respectfully for your consideration and support in modernizing the ordinance. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Mr. Mayor, I just have one question. Have you submitted anything to our growth management department on this item, or is this your first presentation?
This is my first presentation, so I'm kind of trying to figure out. I've run the operation for the last 2 years.
If you could give your information to Kim over there on the end, someone will reach out to you to look at what you're trying to do with your company here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Our next speaker is William Biddorf, and on deck is Anna Alexander.
My name is William Biddorf. I live at 402 East International Speedway. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sure, okay, sorry. Well, I'm not complaining, but I am stating something that I think needs to become. On the East ISB, half of that corridor can be part of Bike Week, the other half can't. I can understand why, but we're a community that would give a better look for the event and create a loop that comes around, that can follow suit throughout our community. And I think it would help business quite a bit, because I've watched things be down. There's less people here. You might think there's a lot of people here, but I've done parking for 25 years. It's down. it's down. I walk in, people's bars. It could be the economy. It could be a lot of things. But I think this loop would give people a reason to come more to Daytona. The second thing is it could help all my neighbors because I care about everybody and everybody that has businesses. I think my friend here has a business here on Main Street. It'd be a better look for our visitors rather than a whole bunch of blank parking lots and boredom going into Daytona on the main corridor. It's really costing the community money. In my opinion, it's smothering beachside. Now, I thought, before I found out the facts, I thought Bike Week was bringing all this money into my city. I'd like to find a way, if I did some kind of events, how could I make money for the city? That's my main concern. I wanted to take care of the community needs inside the city, not just every other need across the state, because we have problems here we need to fix. And you all are doing a great job, and I'm not complaining. I just think this would be a huge help, as the complaint that everybody sees is he's like a dead zone. I thank you.
Our next speaker is Anna Alexander, and on deck is Jackie Mole.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? I'm Anna Alexander. I'm a native of Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm here on behalf of the Senior Oasis Group. I'm interested in putting on a fashion show. We're going to call it a fashion brunch. All 5 centers, all 5 centers are interested in being involved. They will have, they will model in the event. We will have small businesses as the vendors. Myself, I'm a small business. I will have a showing in the show. We will also have time to encourage other small business like home care and assisted living, which I also work in the senior living industry here in Daytona. So what I'm asking for is financial contribution from all commissioner and the mayor here today so that we can go ahead and get this event paid for. It will be May 3rd at the Cherry Center. And yeah, that's about it.
What's the cost of your event?
I have gone ahead and put towards $450 for my own money. Right now, our balance is, I believe, $3,450 for decorations, food, and the DJ.
And I'll just say that she has been working with the Parks and Rec board because she is doing this fashion show for all the Senior Oasis groups. So I know Mr. Willis and his team are going to try to work with her because it is a program that the Senior Oasis did ask her to put together for her. So we do think it's a great event. So we're going to try our best to contribute because it is our Senior Oasis programs, but there are other additional costs that she needs to make sure they have the fashion and the decorations and food. So that's why I think she's here tonight, even though we're going to offer some support because they are our seniors.
So could I please provide $500 for my Bike Week? Thank you.
Oh, and then I have flyers. Yes. We will have a performer from Bethune-Cookman. She's going to perform. One of our citizens here, Elena Washington, she's going to sing. So, yes. That's me.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm going to do $1,000 from my Bike Week funds.
Oh.
And if our staff believes this is a good project, let's try to help her. Because if you're gonna bring all of them together under one tent, your objective is to have all of them come. Is it like a celebration? Tell us a little bit more about it.
So it's going to be a fashion show. The theme is Enchanted Forest. I'm going to have it decorated as Enchanted Forest. We'll have a walkway. We did not want to have a stage due to that we are working with seniors. So we're going to set up a garden walkway that they will walk down. Like I said, we'll have host Janicia Giddens. She's going to host it for us. We'll have time for the entertainers from Bethune-Cookman, as well as local singers come out. It'll be an opportunity to network, get inspired by, local small businesses, as well as Tina Carlisle. She'll be there with her business. So it's just kind of we'll be honoring our seniors, thanking them for what they did, but also giving highlight to our small businesses in the community.
So they will participate themselves?
The seniors?
The seniors?
Yes, they will be the models.
They will be the models?
Yes, sir.
And you'll have a DJ?
Yes, sir. Moon is gonna DJ for me. Yes, sir.
One second, DJ with dancing.
Yes.
I'm kind of focused on the dancing part. Okay, good. Just
Okay. Very good. You guys let me know how it's progressing. What's the date again?
May 3rd. It's gonna start from 10:30 to 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'll do 500 in Bike Week funds.
Okay.
Mine was Bike Week funds too, right?
Yes. So mine were Bike Week funds as well. Okay. All right.
All right.
Keith will get with you.
Okay.
You reach out to me if there's anything else that we can do because, again, this is my student.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
My students do great things, and I take pride in that. All right. Yeah.
Our next speaker is Jackie Mole, and on deck is Ann Ruby.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Jackie Mole, and I am the co-chair, one of the co-chairs of Faith. And I do understand those who are brief are asked to return, so I will be brief. There was a level of disappointment based on the linkage fees being off of the agenda all of a sudden. After 5 years of discussion, after an extensive amount of money paid for nexus fees, after comments at the last reading where there were none and 7-0 vote, and after inviting the Housing Coalition individuals to be here to speak on it, of course, there was a shock. And some were inappropriate, and I will deal with those at our next meeting. But again, I understand why. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. We truly believe that we will get a linkage fee, we will get an amount. It's just a matter of time. So I just wanted to explain or apologize if there was an apology necessary on the reaction. It was just quite a disappointment, all of a sudden them being removed and not knowing the reason why it was removed. So just wanted to share that with you, and thank you.
Thank you for your good work and your continued support for what I believe is a great cause. And no apologies are necessary. You have been and you are a consummate gentleman and a great representative of the organization and our community, and I appreciate you.
Our next speaker is Ann Ruby, and on deck is Jenny Nazak.
Hi, Ann Ruby, 137 Park Avenue. I wanted to invite anyone who would like to come to the B&W meeting tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. at Our Lady of Lourdes. Doors open at 6. We'll be serving pizza. And our guest speaker will be Laura Roth, clerk of the circuit court, which, since I don't understand anything about her job, it's going to be a great learning opportunity. So I'm hoping people will show up and learn, because it's an elective position. And before you vote for somebody else in the office, it would be good to know what the job entails. So I'd like to encourage people to come. I'd also like people to, particularly you up there, come to the last weekend of our Bike Week barbecue. It's not always busy, so sometimes you can just sit and talk. It's really fun. We have, it's from Friday from 11 to 6, Saturday from 11 to 6, behind the Harvey Street Police Station. Food is great, and we have in the back row, we have some of our grill masters. We have Ted, Tammy, Greg, Sandy's husband Casey works there. Sharon and Vern are not here anymore, but there's a really great crew there, and I just would encourage you to come out. And if you want to come when it's busy, it's usually around 11:30, and then again around 3:30, 4 o'clock. So, but otherwise, please come out and meet the police, and support the police officers who are just making our city such a great place during Bike Week. Thank you.
Thank you.
And our final speaker is Miss Jenny Nazak.
Good evening, everybody. Jenny Nazak, 501 Harvey. Affordable housing is obviously a huge issue, and it's requiring multi-dimensional type of response. There's a grassroots national organization that I'm involved with called Strong Towns that is working, among other things, on promoting how to liberate the market to naturally provide more naturally affordable housing. So it's just another additional approach. And they offer these 6 tips. One is allow single-family home conversion to duplex or triplex by right. Another is permit backyard cottages in all residential zones. Another is legalize starter homes in all residential zones. Another suggestion is eliminate minimum lot size requirements in existing neighborhoods. Another is to repeal parking mandates for housing. Let property owners decide how much parking is needed, reducing unnecessary costs and land use requirements. And then finally, we have streamline the approval process. Create a clear, efficient process to ensure approvals for conversions, cottages, and starter homes happen within 24 hours. Now, some of these might sound kind of wild and chaotic, but there have been case studies built up of other towns and cities adopting these with great effect. This is a PDF report from Strong Towns, and I'm going to email it to you guys for your perusal. And I would love to see the city staff explore the possibilities of some of these local code reforms that could help our housing market. Thank you all very much, and happy Bike Week. I'm going to be out in the noise as well.
To the residents of Daytona Beach, we thank you for participating in our meeting, and we thank you for taking on the task of being citizens. It is a great calling, an important calling. We appreciate you. Let's all enjoy Bike Week.